And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week of OlimoLeague, week number 236, your weekly dose of OlimoLeague action. I'm, of course, your side VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all. Whew. And I do apologize for the abrupt start, or I should say the delayed start. We're starting 45 minutes after we should have, so, smooch. I mean, we can still, of course, get the show going and get everything underway. It just means that the broadcast is going to end a little bit later, which means less sleep, which means I'm going to be more tired for the next cast, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine, Poppy, it'll be fine. But yeah, it does look like the Twitch servers were not ideal or not working. Hopefully everything stays connected. I'm now streaming over towards the Singaporean server instead of the Australian server. We'll see how that does work out. Otherwise, welcome one and all. For those who are maybe newer viewers of the channel, maybe newer viewers of StarCraft, you may not be familiar, but OlimoLeague is a very long-standing tournament, has been running for many years, and is the most successful crowd-funded event in the history of StarCraft 2. Did go on a hiatus for a couple of years, and now it is back. It is prime, it is good to go, but it is back under a condition, of course. It is sponsored by Chijik. You can see the logo underneath, the OlimoLeague logo towards the bottom left. It is a Korean streaming platform, not a regular or not an international streaming platform. Because of that, it is only streamed in Korean, or I should say, we used to stream it live ourselves. We used to stream it live as well over on Chijik. It could only be streamed live on that platform, but the reality is, despite the fact that we streamed it live, there weren't really many viewers for it, just because, as you can imagine, not a lot of people are familiar with the platform. Likewise, the platform is in Korean. It is not in English. It's not the most friendly to an international audience, so alas, not many people would watch anyway. So it's one of those things where it's like, oh, you know, we could cast it live, but really that benefit is only in name. Like, no, we wouldn't really get the viewership for it, so may as well just cast it via replays instead. Cast it here over on Twitch. So here we are, here we go. I mean, I say Twitch, we're also live on YouTube, we're live on TikTok, we're live all over the place on all things CranKy Ducklings. Let's go, Pappy, let's go. Likewise, for those that are curious, the events of this tournament did occur a couple of hours ago. I want to say like 9 hours ago, the event did take place. Of course, it actually took place the same time we were casting last night. We were casting the OlimoLeague Cup. OlimoLeague Cup Group C is what we were covering at the same time was OlimoLeague. For those that are curious, I do recommend the VODs, by the way. We casted a group featuring Skillus, MaxPax, Shin, and Solar. And I just mentioned two Korean names there, Shin and Solar, because we were casting them live, because they were playing in a different tournament. They were not playing in OlimoLeague, so Zerg representation here is a lot lower. It is going to be a lot lower. It is going to be mainly Terran and Protoss here. I mean, we're used to it at this point when it comes to online events. All about the Terran, all about the Protoss. And let's catch up on that bracket as we switch our scenes over and catch up on the round of 16. Here we go. So, as you can see here, we have our round of 16. First, from the top of the bracket, we have herO versus GuMiho. That is a crazy round 1 match, by the way. That is very high profile, and Funada the seeding. Who seeded this tournament? As they are both deserving to have deeper and deeper runs in this tournament. It is a shame to see them both face off in the first round, but that also shows how competitive this tournament is. So best of luck to both herO and GuMiho. Scrolling down, we have Nickrecht and Nirko. Nirko is more of an amateur player. He does compete in a lot of tournaments, though. He plays in a lot of OlimoLeagues and a lot of open cups as well. It's great to see his activity on the rise. Nickrecht, though, going to be the favorite player in that series. Scrolling down, we have Creator versus Percival. I would say the Creator is favored, but Percival has been popping off. If you were here last week, we also casted Percival in OlimoLeague as well, and Percival has been looking very good. He, of course, recently returned from the military. He recently did return and did start competing once again back in December. So it hasn't been too long, but it's great to have Percival back. Scrolling down, we have Mocha. We have Mocha up against his opponents as well. Mocha versus, I believe, I just did this previously. Hold on. It is, the name is in Hangul, so not in English, but we have the technology, and his name translates to Sky Lantern.
풍등이.
Pondongyi, there you go. Pondongyi, Sky Lantern. A player that I'm very unfamiliar with. I haven't seen them before, so I'm excited to see. I mean, they got a walkover in the first round over Mocha, so they do make it over to the quarterfinals, so best of luck, as they are more of an amateur player. Scrolling down, we have the second half of the bracket. We have Geralt. We have Geralt versus Zaun in a PvP. We have Rex versus Prome in a ZVP. Prome is also a player that I'm unfamiliar with, so best of luck to Prome. We have Ryung versus Classic in a nail biter of a TVP as well. Again, a lot of TVP. TVPs and a lot of TVTs, and just expect nothing but Terran and Protoss. Best of luck to Rex. Rex, he's the lone Zerg in a sea of Terran and Protoss. Aye. Best of luck to Rex. Again, as we mentioned earlier, Shin and Solo, they were competing in LoLeague Cup, so they could not play in this tournament at the same time, so they were not here. Likewise, Dark is MIA as well, as Dark has been less active over time and less active in the past couple of months as he is nearing his military service. But again, Ryung versus Classic could also go either way. Best of luck to those two competitors. At the bottom of the bracket, we have Cure and a Trigger also facing off in a TVP. Trigger has been on the rise. Likewise, Cure is one of the best Terran players in South Korea, so that is also going to be on a nail biter of a matchup, and we are going to be jumping in. Now, technically, we could cast every single series, and we have been casting a lot of OlimoLeague. If you've been tuning in for the past couple of months, typically our OlimoLeague broadcasts are 8 hours. Very long. very long broadcast, a lot of matches that we typically jump into, just because there are so many good matches in the round 16 and in the quarterfinals and semis and finals. We will be casting all of the quarterfinals, semis and finals, but for the round 16 we're going to be picking and choosing our matches here. Again, technically we could cast everything, but we don't. I want to take a step back and not have an 8-hour cast, especially because I have another cast later on tonight. So I do want to try to slow things down a little bit here and make things a little bit leaner if at all possible. Again, as you can see, the broadcast schedule here later tonight is LoLeague Cup once again, but LoLeague Cup Group D, the final group of LoLeague Cup that you can see there. It is at 9 p.m. KST in 12 hours, or now 11 hours. So it would be nice to cast this and have some time to sleep. I think last week I couldn't. We just casted, then I got some food, then I got like an hour rest, and then we just casted again. So yeah, it's been a long broadcasting when it comes to covering OlimoLeague. But regardless, here we go. We have our first round. We have the round 16, and up first we do have a TVP between Classic and Ryung. As you can imagine, we're going to be covering 3 matches here in the round 16. We're going to be covering Ryung versus Classic, Cure versus Trigger, and herO versus GuMiho. Those are the 3 matches we're going to be jumping into. And then bam, quarterfinals, semis, and grand finals thereafter. We'll most likely be having a break in between each round, in between the round of 16, quarterfinals, and then quarterfinals and semis. We'll be taking like a small 5-minute break so we can get some rest. We can hydrate our hydras, more importantly, and stretch all of our roaches. And then we can jump back into more StarCraft. Let's go. Let us go. So now we are getting into our first series, getting into our first game. Blah. I don't know why, but I love his energy. Welcome, papi, welcome. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos. As we're jumping in. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Vitality. It is Ryung. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss. It is Classic. Here we go. Now, of course, because these matches that occur, what, 9+ hours ago, predictions are not going to be open. No predictions in the chats. We're just going to be chilling and enjoying the broadcast as we come across it. Let us go. Of course, spoilers in the chat will be banned. Will be timed out. We'll get rid of all that stuff, all that nonsense, as we settle into our first series of the night. Going to be loading into one of the larger maps, but as a reminder, there is a unique format for this tournament. That is no vetoes. No vetoes in OlimoLeague. Instead, how do we pick the first map? The first map is predetermined by the admin of the tournament. So map 1 is going to be on Abyssal Reef for every series in the round of 16. Every round has a different starting map, so Abyssal Reef here in the round 16, and it'll be a different map in the quarterfinals, different map in the semis, different map in the grand finals as well. On top of that, because there are no vetoes, what is the process of picking maps, you may ask? It is loser's pick. Loser's pick here, so whoever loses the series, their advantage is to pick whatever map they want. I say whatever map they want. The way to try to balance things out a little bit here is that each week there are some maps that are excluded from the map pool. I'm unfamiliar with which maps specifically are excluded from this week. We'll, I'm sure, find out due to the of course, the process of elimination here throughout the course of the broadcast. But certain maps are going to be excluded, and those maps are rotated every week. Every week it's different maps that are excluded, and then different maps, and then different maps. So for now, we start things off with Abyssal. Here we go. For now, double gas. So double gas opener out of Ryung, going for a faster factory. Delayed CC from our side of the Terran. Meanwhile, across the map, we have Classic just going for the gate expand into Cybercore back at home. Greedy opener here from Classic, but you can get away with greed. Again, welcome to Abyssal Reef. It is a very large map in the map pool. Very large map, long rush distance by ground, and very defendable here on 2, 3, 4 bases. I do favor Ryung in this position. Ryung, he's known for his more turtle play, more defensive play. That's where Ryung thrives. There's a reason why Ryung's best matchup is TVT. That's where he is one of the best players in the world in the TVT matchup specifically, and it is because of his positional play, because of his, again, more patient play at times as well. For now, Classic going to be opening up Stargate. We have the take of choice. Ryung, he tries to get a scout off. He is denied. Ryung is in the dark. He has not gone into the main, not yet, and it's on Classic here to make sure that that does not happen, as the Reaper is deflected. Back at him, because Ryung doesn't know what's going on, he does open up with a safety Cyclone, so if it was a Stargate opener, there is going to be anti-air to deal with that Stargate play with the Phoenixes, with the Oracles. As we can see, it is going to be an Oracle first, I believe. Oh, yep, it is going to be Oracle first, as the Oracle's on the way. From here, we can go to Phoenixes, or we can transition into a ground-based army. Now, again, typically Stargate openers and Stargate play can be quite risky, as you are vulnerable to all-ins. You're vulnerable in the early game to early game aggression. But as we mentioned, because of the size of this map, it is safer to go for a Stargate opener because the chances of an all-in working is far lower. So on maps like Abyssal Reef, maps like Neon Violet Square, maps like King's Cove, we do see Stargate play more and more often. Not always, but more frequently than on other smaller maps. As gateways are being thrown down, Classic moving out. Likewise, Reaper dipping back in. Ryung, he's still in the dark. He still doesn't really know what's going on. Try to get a feel on what is happening. Diving into the main. There is an Adept on patrol. Oh, is on patrol. The Reaper does dive in and does get a full scout of the main base. Gets eyes on the gateways, the Twilight Council, and the Stargate. Ryung, he sees all, he knows all across the map. The Oracle's diving in, but Ryung, he's in position as he did scout and confirm the Stargate. He's somewhat in position. Oh, there we go. Does run away. Forces the revelation. The Oracle will get one SCV kill, just the one. We do get a lock on here on the Oracle, and the Oracle, it's going to go down. There's no escaping as one more shot goes up and the Oracle falls. Massive pickoff with that Classic. The opener has fallen in its face, but we have a second Oracle coming into the natural, and Ryung is out of position. Defended well in the main, but here at the natural base, 2 more SCVs do go down. The Oracle will escape the lock on, will get away. So far, I do favor Ryung. Ryung, he has had a stronger defense, but we spoke earlier, when you go for a Stargate, you're vulnerable to all-ins, and here comes the early move out. Risky move here by Ryung, but how many moves, or how many units is this? 2 tanks, a Cyclone, a couple of boys are being pulled here to repair. Oracle does once again dive into the natural, but does this matter? Workers are going down, but can Classic hold? As Classic is expanding, getting a third. Very greedy here, but one of the other reasons here why you can be greedy on Abyssal, the ramp. The ramp is very narrow, very difficult to pitch into. The 1 force field is all it takes. And Ryung, he's stopped in his tracks. Ryung, he cannot push up this ramp. All we need is 1 force field time and time again. There's the NG overcharge. And Classic, the longer this goes on, the better it is for the Protoss. Up, as he does miss the force field. Doesn't quite land the force field. Slicing up some of the army here, but Ryung, he pulls away. The base is under fire. And the Nexus is being shelled down. Bunker's on the way. Classic, he's in trouble. Another bunker on the high ground as well. Shield battery's finishing up. Can he break through? Gonna attempt to. Getting us up the Marines. 1, 2, 3 Marines gonna be going down. Massive pickups. Medevac was late to pick up. More Marines falling here to the friendly fire. But it looks like the natural's gonna go down. To be fair, there is a third Nexus, so this space doesn't really matter as much. Charge is done. But the choke point working against Classic. Yeah, the Zealots, they get choked up. They're going to be going down here to the tanks. They do force on friendly fire. Ooh, Marines are going down. But the Vikings land. But there are more charges coming in. Classic, he will lose control of the natural. Warping into the main. That's a lot of gateways. That's a lot of charge lots. Zealots are amassing. This is okay damage, but no. The Oracle across the map. Once again, punishing the economy. Getting a couple of SCVs. A couple of workers are going down. Getting 8, almost 9 SCVs across the map. And the charges are collapsing some of the Vikings. And 1 Viking does fall. Another Viking up to another tank as well to the friendly fire. And Ryung is running out of steam. He's running out of steam here. It was so important that he didn't preserve those Marines earlier. Well, I mean, he had to preserve them to have some kind of buffer. You can see that Charge will just have their way with these tanks. Drop into the main. Oh. Meanwhile, the Zealots do get caught out of position. A couple of probes are going down, but again, Ryung just doesn't really have much left over. Sure, he has 3 tanks, but on their own, they're vulnerable. The Liberator is helping. Classic warping in another wave of Zealots, another wave of Stalkers. Yeah, he collapses on the tank. Tank is going to fall. Getting on top of the Liberator as well. Oh. Lip goes down. Nice tank shots. Of course, going up. Oh, the hot pickup. The pickup micro. Let's go. Another Viking. Viking goes down to the Sentry. Hi. And behind this, we can see that Ryung, he's trying to build back up. He's focusing on his economy, building up more SCVs, throwing down extra Raxes as well. But again, that Oracle has gotten 13 kills already. Oh, drop into the main. Going for the mineral line. At the same time, Oracle does hit the natural. Once again, more SCVs going to be falling. Hi. It's going to be two more Stalker kills. Not bad. 2 more Stalkers, but oh my god, 7, 8, 9 more SCVs. 10, 11. Oh, barely not. But 10 more. 23 worker kills for 1 Oracle. Ay. The damage is brutal, and because of that, despite the amount of momentum and the amount of damage that Ryung has gotten across the map, it does not matter. He's crippled back at home. Classic, he has a higher probe count, has a better economy. Behind this, his production was untouched. Has charge, of course, and Ryung has to back off. Does have to retreat. And now we're in an interesting game state. Where it's a little bit awkward here. I mean, Ryung, he can't really move out, not without Stim. He has to wait for his upgrade. Stim is on the way into combat shields, into +1. Everything's still in production. Classic, he regains control of his side of the map, can re-expand, and take the natural. Oh, bit of a misrally here out of Ryung. Hopefully he notices in time. And it doesn't throw away the tank. Come back, come back! Come back! No! As a Classic will come across it and will bring it down. Liberated to the main. Getting a couple of probes, not bad. Okay, we're getting scrappy. 3 more probes going down. Oh! Not quite getting another worker. Classic will clean this up. Live quest behind this. We have any further tech. No storm yet, but there is a Temple Archives. Archons can morph in. So Classic just embracing Charge Archon here. And there's that first Archon in production. Ryung turtling up back at home, going for his 3rd CC, and moving up with a double drop. Does move out. Classic is somewhat in position. And he's ready here at the 3rd. We're moving out across the map. As we do get another 3 SCV. They just keep 27 kills on this one Oracle. At the same time, the army is deflected. Okay, Classic, he was in position. Shuts down Ryung. And again, Ryung is being outscaled. Classic is on 3 bases. He's on a 3-base economy. Marines are being shut down. Oof. Ryung trying to reinforce. Setting up his Widow Mines. Nice pickup. Oof. Baits out the mine shots. Cleans up both Widow Mines as well. Very nice control here at a Classic. And Ryung, he should be stuck at home for the foreseeable future. Classic behind this. Charge is done. Storm is almost done as well. Getting to Storm into a 4th expansion. Classic, he's settling it. Ooh. Now again, because how large this map is, it does mean that we can slow things down a little bit here and engage into the mid game. Embrace the mid game, I should say. Classic getting his 4th. Ryung getting his 3rd. Coming into this kind of game set, I do still favor Classic here. When it comes to his overall army. I mean, Ryung does have a high tank count, that is true, but Tanks that don't scale amazingly here just because of the power of charge lots. We'll see. So Ryung is moving out. He's got how many? He's got 4 tanks, 4 Widow Mines. Got a decent amount of fire. That Oracle is still alive, by the way. There's still no turrets. No shot. Still, okay, there is a turret here at the natural, thankfully, but none in the third, none in the main. Still potential for damage. Can we get 30 worker kills with the Oracle? I'm sure we can. Meanwhile, the armies, they're completely missing each other. Uh-oh. Now, Classic Force, he can always recall. He can always recall back home. But if he doesn't, we could end up in a base trade. Young, he does push in. There's nothing at home to defend. The Natural's going to be going down, and Classic, he commits. We're going for the base trade. Let's go. Let us go. Natural's going to be going down. Classic reinforcing across the map. Breaking into the Natural itself, pushing into the main. And again, he has storms if need be. Likewise, Ryung going also into the main, going for the production. Ryung, he does evacuate, he does save the SCVs. Ooh, a storm onto the main army. Yeah, the Bio is going down, another massive storm. Ryung, of course, he does evacuate, does lift his CC, gets the hell out of there. Yeah, the Great Migration is upon us at the same time. Classic expanding towards the top right. Both players taking the corner bases. I believe the High Templar, yep, they're still alive. And in a head-on fight, I do favor Classic with those storms. I mean, it does depend if Ryung is pre-sieged, if he is pre-set up with these tanks, then he can take a fight himself. But it all does depend. Birds are getting caught out in the center of the map. Buildings, they're floating away. Now, does Classic still have the Phoenix? He does. Phoenix is still alive. So Ryung cannot completely escape as the buildings are being hunted down. Ryung rotating towards the top right. Classic does evacuate, and Ryung, he will eventually find this, assuming he keeps heading this direction. Cleans up all the pylons. Likewise, Classic moving in. The Zealots, they move in ahead of time. They could try to find the tanks. Up. Tanks, they try to siege up. Oh, Zealots, they pull away. Yeah, a lot of Zealots going to be falling. Tanks, they on siege. Bit of a messy engagement there by Classic. No moving in with everything. They're getting cannon pushed into these tanks. Not like this. High Templar, they're lagging behind. Meanwhile, I missed it, but the War Prison went down. Ooh, that should not have happened. Apparently, the War Prison did go down. Likewise, is knocked across the map. Ryung, he does save one command center. And he's setting up back at home. And I'm loving the SimCity here. He's fully walling up. Protecting those tanks. Likewise, Classic also double expanding. But Classic has lost all of his production. And Ryung is not. Ryung, he saved the Raxus. Saved the Raxus, saved a factory and a starport. Another Zealot goes down. Ryung, he does move out. Oh. Does push. Classic bringing everything together. And again, he has to respect these tanks. Ryung, he does find the CC, or the Nexus. Does find the Nexus. Is aware. Scans ahead of time, he sees top right. He is aware of the bases. And then we try to engage. Storm on 2 Marauders, not ideal. Oh! Once again, Storm zoning back. Shaving off some HP. Another Storm popping up. Classic taking another expansion, bottom left. Getting up to a 3-base economy. Ryung not actually mining. Ryung does have 12 SCVs. Nice Force Winds catching out 1 Marauder. I'll pick up. Whew. I'll pick up Micro. But yeah, the SCVs are with the main army instead. And Zealots, they collapse in. Another Storm. Oh, and another. But we're running out of Zealots. Oh, Storms are popping up. But will it matter? Tanks, they go up. They take down one of the High Templar. They go for the Sentries. Ooh, massive connection. Sentries go down. And Classic, he's running out of steam. He's running out of units. Yeah, rough fight, pushing into tank fire. And Ryung, he has done it. He breaks through. Again, Classic is throwing down more bases. Where the gateways, GG gets called. And Ryung, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Ryung will take a lead in this series. Again, Classic, he was throwing down Nexus after Nexus. He had 0 production, 0 gateways, 0 warp-ins, so he could not reinforce his army. Also, I missed how he lost the Warp Prism, but that was a big moment as well. If he had the Warp Prism, he could try to harass the army with Storm drops coming from behind, coming for a flank, micro back, save units. Losing that Warp Prism was brutal. And with that, Ryung was able to take the better fight, at least within range of his tanks. Classic did overextend, and with that, GG. GG, well played. Whew. Ryung takes game number 1. Let's go. Does take game 1. And now we're getting into our second game here. Let's go. We're going to be following these 2 players into game number 2. As a reminder, this is Classic's map of choice, going for Whispers of Gold. And spawning in the top left-hand corner. In the top left, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss, down in the series. We'll see if he can recover. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player representing Team Vitality, leading the series 1-0. It is Ryung. We go. Here we go. So we cast replays, so those have a different schedule. I mean, we were casting a different tournament at the time. And if you missed that, but as I'll reiterate again, at the time that this event was happening live, we were casting a different tournament. Likewise, as I also mentioned, you can only live cast this event on the Chijik platform, which we used to, but people wouldn't really watch us on the Chijik platform. So we did decide to stop casting it live, as it wasn't really benefiting us, unfortunately. It's like, oh, we get to be like the official English casters, but wouldn't really get any benefit for it. So I may as well just cast here on Twitch a couple of hours later instead, as we're able to reach a wider audience. As for now, we're settling in. This time, if you recall, last game we had a double gas opener out of Ryung. This time, single gas, single racks into a faster CC. So a more economic start here by Ryung. Last game, the double gas led into the early tank push, if you do recall, the early tank drop, which made for a chaotic game, which I guess kind of favored Ryung in the end. It was still very close and still very clutch. Very much so. Let's go the way of Ryung. And there's that CC, not going to be on the low ground, they're going to be a safety CC on the high ground. This does make sense, the reasoning for this. Welcome one and all to Whispers of Gold. This is almost the direct opposite, the polar opposite of Abyssal Reef, where the map is much smaller, shorter rush distance by ground, and very exposed bases as well. So we do see that Ryung, he's a little bit concerned about a Zealot first or a proxy, so he will set up on the high ground instead. So a safer economic opener here out of Ryung. And Classic back at home, just going for the gate expand into Cybercore, or a gate cyber expand. Into his check of choice, once again, Stargate opener. Now, this is a little bit concerning to me. If you recall, last game, I was talking about how it is safe to go Stargate on Abyssal because how large the map is, and because all lanes are weakened on Abyssal Reef. As we saw, Ryung did go for basically, he was all in at the start of the game. Didn't do enough to kill Classic, but did do enough to at least maintain himself and to recover and make a game out of it. Here on Whispers of Gold, Ryung can hit a lot harder. He can hit a lot harder, a lot more intensely as well. Thankfully for Classic, as he did not scout by the way, Ryung didn't open up aggressively. He opened up... mech? Sorry, I did a double take because I was like this. I was like, no, yeah, he didn't open up aggressively, he opened up economically, and then I do this, I'm like, oh my god, there's a second factory. He's crazy. So we have mech on the way from Ryung. This is something that very few Terran players embrace in this matchup. GuMiho is one, Ryung is the other. Very few Terrans in Korea do embrace this, but Ryung, he is one of them. He's the tuna. He's crazy. Let's go. Okay, now Classic, he does poke up the ramp and he does get eyes on the CC, so he's fully aware that this was an economic opener. Again, the opener was economic, the follow-up is more crazy. From here, we can go into Cyclone production, I would imagine, to Macfield Accelerators. There we go, Cyclones are on the way, Macfield Accelerators as well. And this is a more viable build nowadays, thanks to the new old Cyclone. This Cyclone, of course, was in the meta and back in circuits, last year? A year ago at this point, even more than that, I want to say. It was a dark time, Mass Cyclone was very much so a thing in a lot of matchups, and it is a niche build in the current meta as well. As Reaper gets into the main, gets a full scout, gets eyes on the Phoenixes. And again, I mentioned this before, but the Protoss player is vulnerable here. Cyclone zones away, and Classic doesn't scout. Uh-oh, he doesn't scout, doesn't know what's going on. And we saw last game, despite the map, Classic almost died to the initial all-in, and here, this next all-in is going to hit even harder here with Mass Cyclone. Third factories on the way. Making 2 Cyclones at a time, and 2 Hellions at a time as well. Now, the scary thing about what's happening here, against this kind of battle mech composition, these Oracles and this Phoenix, they're not going to do much. They're really dead weight more than anything, and because Classic opened up Stargate, because he made these initial units, this means that the Twilight Council is late. The Twilight Council is delayed, Blink is late as well, the Warpins are delayed, now he's going for his 3rd base, but last, the ground army for Classic is lacking, and he needs time to recover, time that he's not getting. Ooh, as these Cyclones, they do dive in, Oracles, they get a full scout, they get eyes on the 2nd factory. Now he knows. SCVs are going down. But the first Oracle is picked up. The Phoenix as well. Do we have a lock-on? Up. No, not quite. Lock-on on the Oracle instead. Oracle does survive. As more Cyclones are amassing. Macfield just now finishing up. Classic going to be pulling back. Keeping his units here outside of the main. And thankfully, because of the revelation, he sees the move out. Now, back into what do we have? We need shield batteries. More gateways are being thrown down. Stalkers are amassing. No shield batteries yet, which is a little bit concerning. As the Oracle does hit the main. Nothing at him to defend. Ryung, he's all in. At this point, Ryung, he's completely all in. I wouldn't even be opposed to seeing him pull the boys, to be honest, at this point. But regardless, he does commit. There are some Stalkers, thankfully. A couple of Stalkers are set up. But the locals are brutal, and again, there's no shield batteries whatsoever. Stalkers are going down, Hellions are coming from behind. There's 3 Cyclones left, and they're going to take down every single Stalker. And Classic, he gets punished for, in a way, his greed. It was a late scout from Classic as well. As a reminder, took him a long time to see the 2nd factory. Oh my god, the probes, they light up. Winwine does not get baited. Love to see it. And Ryung is circling out control. He's breaking through the defensive line. There's almost nothing left. The question... the question marks. Smurge. He's like, mate, you opened Stargate on Whispers of Gold. You didn't scout the main base properly. What do you expect, Pappy? What do you expect? GG. And Ryung will take the series 2-0. Let's go. GG, well played, Ryung. Calm down, Bobby, calm down. GG, well played. Ryung, he will claim the series, will take the 2-0 here, flexing some Mass Cyclone factory-based all-in. Again, very rare build, you don't really get to see too often, but players like Ryung, players like GuMiho, they like to mix it in every now and then. I want to say even some of the NA players, the NA Terran players were playing around with it as well. Again, this used to be more prevalent a year ago, back when, you know, it was all things Cyclone. Nowadays, players have been playing around with it a little bit, and with that, just catching Classic with his pants down. Again, Classic, he was getting a 3rd base as well. He was getting a 3rd base, late Scouts, late Blink, late Twilight Council, Stargate Opener, again, working against him. It is risky, as we mentioned, it is risky opening up Stargate on these smaller maps. The punish was real. GG. GG, well played. Ryung takes the win. Whew. Within style. More importantly, in style. With that, that's going to lead us into our 2nd series of the round of 16. Up next, we are going to be dipping into another TVP. Purely Terran versus Protoss here in the round 16. Up next is going to be a TVP between Kior and Trigger. Let's go. Oh boy. And as a reminder, Game 1 is on Abyssal. It's on Abyssal for every series in the round of 16. Every series, every match. Ryung, the tune it, papi, tune it. Mate, you mess with the Ryung, you get the tuna. Where is it? There you go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the Canadian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Basilisk. It is Trigger. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Here we go. For those that are maybe unfamiliar with Ryung's nickname, Ryung, he is the Tuna Terran, and the reason for this is because Ryung's IRL name is Dongwon. He's the Dongwon Pappy, and Dongwon is a brand of canned tuna in Korea. Doesn't translate to tuna, but it's just a brand. It's a brand of canned tuna. So there's a lot of memes. There's a lot of memes about tuna and Ryung. A lot of memes out there. We have a lot of fan art as well, you know, covered in cans of tuna. And infamously as well, one of our own, one of the CranKy Ducklings went to the GSL studio to watch Ryung play and made a cheerful. A cheerful is, you know, those signs with text that you see in the crowd. And they taped a can of tuna to it, and they won a prize. They won like a best fanfare prize in the audience of GSL for the taped can of tuna. Beautiful. Let's go. Good times, good times. For now, though, double gas. Double gas open out of Cure, double gas into a faster factory, into a delayed CC, so a much more aggressive or assertive start here from our Terran player. Likewise, Trigger just going for a gate expand into Cybercore. Everything looking as it should for the time being. Is it any good? That's a good question. I'm sure I could buy some Dongwon here. I know Yaku, he's eaten Dongwon before. He actually has a Ryung branded keyboard, actually. I have a Crank keyboard, and Yaku has the Ryung keyboard. Let's go. But I know that Yaku has it, but he's in Singapore. You know, he's closer to Korea, so they actually sell Dongwon tuna. I'm sure I could get it here in Australia. I'd probably just have to go like Chinatown or something. One day I'll try it. I'll try the tuna. Here we go. For now, we are going to be settling in. We have our initial tech of choice as well. Of course, I should have spoken about this, but double gas openers can lead into a couple different things. We've seen Ryung turn it into, of course, early tank drop play. This can lead into early Banshees. This can lead into committed Widowmine drops as well, or even committed with Hellion Reaper. But now we have double Reaper dipping into the main, getting some scat information, and Cure, I should say. Sorry, Ryung was on the mind. Cure, he does get eyes on the Twilight Council. So I do appreciate that Trigger, he's taken a very different approach. Last game, or last series, Classic opened Stargate every single game. Here, Trigger playing safely, opening up Twilight Council into Blink. So much safer play here out of Trigger. Meanwhile, we spoke about the tank drop. Here it comes. Very aggressive, very committed here by Cure, opening up with the tech lab on the factory into early tank into medevac. So hyper aggression from the Terran, very similar to what Ryung went for. If you recall, in Ryung's game on this map, actually against Classic, Deja Vu, but reversed spawn locations. Ryung, he waited for two tanks. There we go. It's the same build. it is the same build. Let's go. Yo, the Terran, the Korean Terran, like hive mind, it's all coming together. They're all working in unison. Oh no. Actually, we do see though that Cure doesn't wait for the second tank. He doesn't wait for it. He moves out ahead of time. So this is going to hit sooner, but a little bit weaker here. As Cure, he does a boost across the map, getting across as quickly as possible. And of course, this tank can get within range of the mineral line. Oof. Massive volleys going off. Oh my god, getting one probe. One probe goes down. This is one of the most abusable locations on Abyssal Reef, is you can get behind the mineral line and actually get within range of the mineral line as well. So mining is denied here for Trigger. But last, a blink is going to finish up in a couple of seconds. Marines, they drop in. Oh, going for the mineral line once again, getting another probe. 3 probes go down. Not bad. The Reaper Hellion do what they can. Marines, they protect the tank in the back line. Second tank has arrived. Ooh, tank load is going to be going up. Yeah, massive connections here on the Stalkers. Trigger taking a lot of hits. And Trigger, he is in trouble. Now, thankfully, he hasn't lost any Stalkers yet. He's banking up those Stalkers, and he's looking for a dive. And he goes for it. He commits. He gets one. One tank goes down. Oh, takes some massive volleys to the face. Gets one tank, but there's still another behind this. And again, just a very nice spread here by Cure. Spreading out those tanks. Keeping them safe. Taking down even more Stalkers. Oh, my God. Another Stalker goes down. And this is becoming a little bit too much here. Scans across the ravine. Keeps eyes on the Stalkers. The Stalkers are taking a lot of damage. Another one goes down. Finally, the tank falls. But looking at the trades here, what was it? 8 Stalkers, 6 probes for 2 tanks and a medevac. Good damage dealt here by Cure. And he has more reinforcements on the way. I mean, we saw how much it took to kill 2 tanks. We have 2 more on the way. 2 more tanks are on the way. Oh! Cure, he's going to be shut down, though. Okay, we'll lose control of this army. We'll lose control of the center of the map. We can see Cure lag it. Wait, ooh, massive shots. Massive shots go up, and Cure, sorry, Trigger, he dives. Oh my God, he gets punished. The punish is real, losing almost every single Stalker. Ay, ay, ay. The trap was set. And with that Trigger, he has to back off down to 3 Stalkers. We do see Trigger trying to expand, getting a 3rd base. He is not going all in. And Cure, he's dealt enough damage behind this. Now he's fully saturated on 2 bases. Can now focus on the 3rd CC. He has the high ground. Once again, tank boy is going up. And Cure, he's dealt damage. He's secure back at home. He takes a lead. Cure, he didn't kill Trigger like he otherwise would have hoped to, but he does do enough damage to take a lead himself. He's ahead economically, ahead army-wise, tech-wise as well. We have Sim, Combat Shields +1 all on the way. And once all these upgrades kick in, then Cure, he can push. And we'll see if Trigger can survive that. Again, Stalkers, they're quite expensive, and to lose so many of them, it's just been brutal losses here for him. Back at home, getting to charge, getting to +1, throwing down extra gateways. He is securing himself, at least attempting to. Again, Trigger, he has quite a bit of catching up to do here. Quite a bit. Bay is on the way. That'll be for splash damage for Colossus. And Trigger, he needs time for Colossus production. Unfortunately, Cure, he shouldn't give him that time. As we mentioned, Cure, he's waiting for +1. He's waiting for +1, waiting for combat shields and stim. Trigger, he does bypass the main army, going for the CC. Oh, will delay. There's the recall. I mean, the delay is nice and all, and at least Trigger confirms that the army is coming, but can Trigger stop it? Because by the time the army gets across the map, the upgrades are going to be done. Stim has just completed. Oh, catching out 2 Stalkers. Massive pickups. And we're back. Cure once again just settling himself here behind that ravine. Behind the mineral line. Denies mining. Upgrades are just half finishing up. This time though, there is charge. True. Charge is done for Trigger. Colossus does arrive. And Trigger, he can clean this up. As Cure, he's not reinforcing this army. He's going for a double drop towards the 3rd base instead. Trigger, he may pounce before the drop hits. And he will. As I'll say, dive in. They're getting on top of the tanks. The tanks are going to be going down. Nice target. Oh, no, the Colossus. The Colossus, they do get on top of the tanks. And the Colossus will survive. Tanks go down. At the same time, drop into the main. And a drop here towards the natural. Honestly, that was a very nice cleanup here by Trigger. But he's losing his economy. Highlands are going down. Probes as well. Reinforcements on the way. Ooh. But Trigger, he will defend. And those were some big losses here for Cure, losing those tanks. The drop play does continue, though. Getting a handful of workers. Still a very tense game state between Cure and Trigger. He wants to move out. Double drop back into the natural once again. Trigger, he's otherwise busy. Otherwise distracted. That's going to be another 8 probe kills. The Colossus is getting low. Does he go for it? Does he go for the dive? Zealots go down. Stims in. Colossus has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. He wants it. Oh, no. Okay, this is shield battery, thankfully. There is a shield battery in position. The Colossus, despite that. No, he's out of range. Oh, he's out of range of the shield battery. Colossus goes down. Massive pickup. And Trigger, he cannot keep up. No with these losses. GG gets called, and Cure will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Cure, he will take a lead in the series. Like, once again, a very aggressive build here by Cure. We did see that Trigger went for a safe opener, but he lost so many Stalkers in the defense. I think initially it was okay, but if you remember, Trigger, he got baited in the center of the map, losing, what, 6 more Stalkers. It was brutal to see those losses, and with that Cure, he was able to trade well enough to get a lead. If those Stalkers hadn't gone down in the center of the map, then Trigger gains map control, then he contains his opponent, he can threaten dives into the main, and he can delay any kind of move out from Cure and contain him. But we saw the exact opposite there. As the Stalker count was reset, Trigger had no map control, and with that, GG. GG, well played. That leads us into game number 2. The pressure is on Trigger. The pressure is on. And we'll see if he can bounce back. Cure is very healthy. That's why he's Cure. It's true. He's very healthy. He's he's very healthy. He's very mindful of what he eats, of how he takes care of himself. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Let's go. As we're getting into game 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the Canadian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Basilisk. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is a Trigger. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is a Cure. We go. But also, last fun fact. I mean, we'll be casting more of Ryung later on in the next round, anyway. But that's also why we have some tuna emotes for Ryung. Let's go. That's why we have the tunas. Oh, for Ryung. He doesn't even know. But now we are moving out. Again, welcome one and all to Amygdala. This is a Trigger's map of choice. Trigger going for another large map in the map pool. Based on this map decision as well, I would not be surprised if maybe King's Cove or Neon Violet Square are not in this week's map pool. We'll find out over time, of course. We'll find out. But this is typically, again, a larger map, a safer map as well. Speaking of large and safe, that is a gate into Nexus before Cybercore. Once again, economic opener here out of Trigger, 2 games in a row. It is going to be an economic opener. Likewise, Cure this time going for a single gas geyser, racks gas into a CC on the low ground. So economic openers all around. No signs of a crazy early game aggression this time. And now Trigger can get comfortable. And again, as we load into Amygdala, the rush distance by ground is much longer, I should say. It's very long, it's much longer. It takes a long time to move out. Likewise, the bases are quite secure early on as well. There's one real attack path pushing in towards that third. Likewise, rotating towards the fourth base can be very awkward early on as well. But as the game progresses, as the map does unfold, these rocks all get knocked down. Once they're up and running, it can be quite awkward to rotate back and forth from side to side. Once they get knocked down, the map does open up quite heavily, and then it can be more difficult keeping up with army rotations. Can be much more difficult. But we'll see if we can get there. For now, Twilight Council. Twilight Council opener out of Trigger. Twilight Council into Blink, I would imagine. Back at home, Cure going for a 1-1-1. This time there's an add-on swap going for a Hellion production. Interesting. I believe Cure skipped his SCV. Yep, he skipped his SCV scout. He skipped his Rebirth scout. He's going for a Hellion scout instead. So once again, just really greedy play here out of Cure. Not really too concerned with what Trigger is up to, not yet, until the Hellions have arrived. So it is going to be a Hellion opener to move out, followed by Widow Mines. And the goal here of this Widow Mine drop is not to do damage, the goal is to scout. Again, Cure doesn't really have an idea what's happening, so we need that drop into the main to get eyes on the tech and to get eyes on how many gateways there are. Here we go. As Hellions are being active, checking for proxies, making sure nothing is out of the norm. Family. Let's go. Let's go. As Kira does make his way across the map, it's going to be committed for or quadruple Widowmine drop in towards the main. Trigger going, I believe, 2-gate. Yeah, 2-gate blink into a third. Very greedy play here by Trigger. This is one of the most economic openers you can go for in PvT. And we'll see if he can keep up with the Widowmine. So far, it does pull away. Does notice in time. Not a single mine shot goes off. And Kira gets a full scout. Hellions, they poke in. Stalkers, they do keep this busy. They shut this down. Oh, mine just go. Oh my god, the avoids. Oh my god, that's crazy. Jesus. With that, the mines, they are forced back and not a single stalker goes down. Very impressive stuff here out of Trigger. He deflects the Hellions, defends against the Widowmines, but the Widowmines do survive and they live to drop another day. They can drop back in. But all in all, Kira, he's at least scouted. He has at least confirmed what is going on. He is aware of the opener. Bay is on the way for Trigger with our double gas setup here going into Colossus. So again, this is just really economic, really macro based, very much so mid-game based here for Trigger. Just gearing up and taking up, skipping warp-ins, just working with the bare minimum here of stalkers and focusing on everything else, the production, the tech, and the economy. And again, Kira, he isn't really threatening Trigger, just building up as well. Tanks are on the way, Stim, building up the Marines. We're headed towards the mid-game. We're calming things down. We're settling in. Here we go. Security is going to be harassing, dropping in towards the third base. Trigger, he does notice in time, he does pull away. Up! Oh my god. Does pull away. This time, some workers are going to be going down. 4 probe kills in total. Medevac does fall. Then we come back too soon. Oh my god, we come back too soon. 7 probe kills. Very nice damage here by Kira. He makes up for the otherwise lackluster drop initially. He makes up for it here with 7 workers. Nicely done. Nicely done towards the end. Likewise, Kira catching out the Observer. Observer did go down in the main. Observer does fall, and Trigger, he has to be active. He has to move out to slow down the move out, to slow down the push. Secure, he on sieges. He's got 2 tanks. Stim is yet to complete in a couple of seconds. It's soon to be done. Oh. Secure, he does move forward. Ideally, Trigger's able to pick off a couple of Marines, maybe a Marauder, maybe a tank. Nothing quite yet. 1 Stalker falls. Some rough losses for Trigger. Nice micro out of Kira. He does shuffle his units back. As Kira has yet to lose anything here. Colossus has arrived. Kira, he does pre-siege. Is setting up. Oh! Tank volley going up. And as he threatens the third base, Kira is going for a double drop. Does drop towards the north side. Trigger, he is somewhat aware. And he's keeping up with the pace of Kira. I mean, we saw the same thing here last game in game 1. And Trigger, he does confirm with the Zelnaga. He's aware. Trigger, he splits off a couple of Zealots. Does defend his 4th. And Kira backs off. He respects the Colossus. Does respect the Colossus. Pulls away, getting his third base up and running, and now we can embrace a longer game state. Kira throws down his own gases, his own Ghost Academy. Viking production has begun. And we're headed towards a 4-base setup. Let's go. Trigger, he successfully defends his 4th base. Likewise, Kira is also going to be saturating his 3rd and throwing down his own 4th CC momentarily as well. So after a very intense first series, game 1 and game 2 between Ryung and Classic, and a very intense game 1 of this series as well, we're calming things down. We can macro. It isn't just all about aggression and all-ins. No. We can macro, papi. We're okay. We're okay. We're getting there. We have something for everyone. Except Zerg players. Smoke. I mean, we're going to be casting Rex later. True. We do have some Rex action. As rocks are being knocked down. Behind this Trigger working towards Disruptor production. Second Forge, double upgrades. Getting his 4th base. Dark Shrine on the way as well. Let's go. There is potential. There's potential for Dark Templar to get across the map because of damage done. We can see Kira does have a safety turret outside of his natural, and at the 3rd base there is no turret, not yet. So there is a way in. So basically, users, European players don't play in the OlimoLeague regardless. Like they don't. They often don't play in the OlimoLeague. Sometimes we get Clem. Sometimes I think Clem's like played in like 2 OlimoLeagues, like 2, maybe 3. I want to say 2 though. Oh, there's no. The Disruptor does rally in. A bit of a miss rally here from Trigger. Ay ay ay. Not like this. Secure rotates. Triggered onto 3 Disruptors. Does rotate. Does rotate over. Goal base is going to be knocked down. Is denied. Nice cancel. OlimoLeague happens during GGN hours in EU. That is not true at all. That is not true at all. Unless you're saying that, like, I don't know, like 2, 3, 4 p.m. in the afternoon is like DGen hours. True, true. True. Spirit does dive in. Oh, never going up. Zoning him away. It does connect. Nice connection here from Trigger. Is going to be popping up. How about the tanks? They do gain ground. Kira, he's maxed out. Is maxed out. Moving forward. Likewise, tanks they get caught on siege. Nice catch here by Trigger. Cleans up the tanks. The Vikings, they pummel. They shut down one. They shut down both Colossus. And the Disruptors are exposed. Once again, another Disruptor goes down. Ay, ay, ay. 4 Disruptors left. The Daywalkers of the Degens. Oh no. I think what you meant to say is that the Degens aren't awake for OlimoLeague because they're asleep during the day. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. They're all asleep. The tournament needs to be at 2, 3 a.m. in Europe. Then they'll play. True, true. Needs to be at DGen hours. As Trigger, he will try to chase us down. Nervous once again going up. Decent splits, but Ghost does fall. But again, without any Colossus. Oh no! Oh my god, better connections towards the end. Very nice. Trigger pulling away. Does pull back, but he's running out of Novas. Running out of Disruptors. Once again, he has to pull back. Cure, he's gaining more ground, getting within range of the mineral line. Probes are going to be falling. More Disruptors, they get targeted down as well. There's 1 Disruptor left. Up, up. Do we get the Nova? No, we're not going to get it. We're not going to get it. Oh, are we? It escapes. Okay. It gets away. I can't say the same for the base. The expansion, it is under fire. Trigger, he pulls back. Does pull back. That's Trigger trying to maintain himself, but again, he's stuck on a 4-base economy. And he's been leading out so many river units. The problem here is he just hasn't been able to build up his Colossus or his Disruptors. Every fight they go down. Speaking of, another Disruptor falls. Every fight they get reset. And Trigger, he just can't maintain his army. Likewise, back at home, Cure freely expanding. There's no harass. There's no harass. We saw that Arc Shrine earlier. There's no DT harass. No Zealot run-bys. Army dives in. Nice spread here by Cure. Oh, do we get a better connection towards the end? All it takes is a couple of good Novas, and Trigger, he can take the fight. Couple of good Novas is all he needs. Going for another Ghost. Ghost goes down. Lands an EMP. Momentum swinging in favor of Trigger. Zealous they have arrived in Trigger. Can he break the base? He's going for it. Is going for it. CC force a lift. Nova zoning away. He's now to 2 disruptors. Oof. EMP goes up. Third disruptor has arrived. Number 3 well-placed Novas. Trigger, he can take this. First Nova doesn't quite connect. 4th disruptor arrives as well. Cell reinforcements. Let's go. Trigger, he's maintaining his position, and because of this, is able to retake the gold. The gold base is back up and running. Novas once again gets another ghost. Once again, Nova connecting. Vikings are going to be going down. Cure rotating, going for the base, getting caught out. Up! Shows the Novas. Oh, the splits are pretty good. Yeah, this time the splits are there. Does avoid the connections. Trigger, a little bit trigger happy. Has to calm down. Here come finally the DTs. Let's go! DTs, they come in, they knock down the base. Planetary falls, mineral line as well. This is what we've been waiting for. DTs, they pop, they get 18 SCVs. 18 workers go down. Trigger, he pulls away. Curious going to be crippled. The Novas. Oh no! Okay, they quite connects. Towards the end, they do. That's what 4 ghosts going down. It almost looked like Trigger, he like over prepared there. Like he psyched himself out. The splits weren't there, but the Novas didn't quite connect. Trigger, he avoided the army. He zigged when the army just stood still. As Curious once again getting within range. Going for the expansion. Trigger coming in from behind, setting up for the surround. Nice EMPs. EMPs are popping up. But again, at one point, Cure, he had full momentum on his side. Now no longer. Now we have it back and forth. And Trigger, he can take this. Got 2 more Colossus on the way, plus 3 on the horizon as well. Cure trying to retake his expansion, going for the gold. DTs, they hit the northern base. And the planetary is going to fall. All it takes is one more swipe. The planetary goes down. Massive pickup. Cure's down to 3 CCs. Down to 3 bases. Trying to take the gold base, but last Trigger, he has control of the center of the map. Cure, he cannot mine. He's running out of mining. Does have a bank. Oh! Novas they stone away. Oh, the Colossus. Colossus rallies into the Vikings. Colossus goes down, and Curie has had enough defending. He's going to attack. He knocks down a base. Nexus will fall. And he can keep going. Meanwhile, at the same time, more bases are being denied. Disruptor rallies in. Disruptor gets thrown away. Curie's getting overstimmed. Getting quite heavily overstimmed here. Does get behind the mineral line. Base is going to be denied. Once again, Colossus goes down. 2 Novas go up. There's 4 Novas left. Oh, down to 3. Down to 2. And the base falls. Curie's pushing in. And once again, the Novas are a little bit lackluster. They're not quite connecting. Curie taking down 3 bases. The goal base, the 5th, and the 4th. Curie, can he keep going? Not quite. Once again, zoned back. Across the map, he finally does retake that gold. Has some mining going on. Cure, he burns through his bank. And as the dust settles, Trigger, he just wasn't able to maintain himself. He is taking top left, has mining going on at least. He lost all of his Colossus, lost all the Disruptors. The army does get scanned. Cure. Coming in for the surround. Oh! Let's come in. Stalkers, they get away. Some of them do. Most of them. And once again, Curie, he has maintained map control. He's almost maxed out as well. Curie, he's back. He's back. He's here to cure the trigger. Duh. GT's advising the main army. Nova's going up. There's still potential with these Novas. We step in from both sides. Marauder's going to be going down. There's what, 2 Novas left. They pop off into towards the north. Massive connections. But there's still so much bio left over. And Curie stims in. He stims and he wins. He has a scan. Takes down the DTs. And Trigger, he has almost nothing left. As the final Colossus is being chased down. Cannot escape. Ooh. Does get shut down by the Marauders. And the final mining base here of Trigger, it's going to fall. There's no saving it. Not anymore. Saves the probes at least. Saves the workers. But Trigger, he's down to what? He's down to 4 Zealots and a Disruptor. This is the army. This is all that Trigger has left. Curie's scanning, looking for more bases. Looking for more setups. And again, Trigger, he was dead in the water like 10 minutes ago. And he clawed his way back in. I mean, shout out to the DTs, right? The DT run-bys, they killed base after base after base, but still wasn't enough. GG gets called, and Cure will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Cure does take it, does advance on into the quarterfinals. Congratulations. Trigger, again, he did find his footing eventually in game number 2, but arguably it took a little bit too long, and even when he did, he had some rough trades, some rough fights, bleeding out a lot of Disruptors, bleeding out a lot of Colossus as well, bleeding out his high-tech units, as we were trying to bring up at the time. Because of that, he just had a really hard time stabilizing and maintaining a semblance of an army, as every time he was losing, you know, half if not more of his Disruptors. With that, GG. GG, well played. Cure does advance on into the next round. And with that, we have one series remaining here that we're going to be covering in the round of 16. Another TVP. We're going to be featuring herO versus GuMiho. Let's go. Let us go. As once again, game 1 is going to be on Abyssal Reef. How come I only recently heard of OlimoLeague, even though it's the 236th edition, 6th week? Cyber John, what? You need to watch StarCraft. What's happening? What are you talking about? OlimoLeague, it's been around since like what? When was the first OlimoLeague? Not 2016. Was it 2016? When was the first OlimoLeague? Was it 2016, 2017? Jesus. Let's find out. Checking Wikipedia. 2014. We've been around for years, Bobby. Oh my god. Regardless for settling in, also a big shout out to Nikita in the chat. Oh my god, Papi. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. Gracias, Papi. Gracias. As we are settling into our fresh best of 3. And it's going to be a short one because we are cheesing, we are proxying. Sporting in the bottom right hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is herO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player from the land of South Korea. It is GuMiho. Here we go. We do have our initial proxy racks. With the double gas open, are we going proxy Marauder? Are we setting up with the Marauders? No, not quite. Okay, it's going to be proxy Reaper. Just the initial Reaper here. Not a committed proxy. It is all designed to delay the economy, to get some economic damage early on, and to settle into a longer game state here, as the probe does confirm. Oh, hello, Shark. The probe does confirm that the Rax is missing. Here we're going for a gate cyber expand. Going for a standard opener. And we'll see if herO can minimize losses, as it's going to be on GuMiho to try to pick away at that mineral line. As the probe does confirm, the factory is aware, so he knows it's not a committed proxy. Reaper dips in. The Zealot's in position, so good read here by herO. And the Zealot is here to zone. Reaper tries to get into the mineral line, going for the probe. Oh! Probe dives into the gas geyser. Nice hit on one. Probe goes down. Can he get 2? Oh! Getting it two workers, alas he barely cannot. Stalker does make it, and so far only one probe kill. herO defends. herO, he does defend, does deflect GuMiho. Protecting that natural. Whew, now we can calm down. We can calm things down. GuMiho can now expand, getting his own natural location, and all in all, this is a better start here for herO. On the one hand, he was forced to make the Zealot, true. He was forced to make the Zealot. He did lose one worker, and he's being forced to at least stay a little bit further back at home. But now he's being active, now he's moving out, and we can see GuMiho following this up with additional Hellion production into a Woodermine drop. Reaper Hellion moves out. herO, he does barely get a glimpse of the Hellions. And who flinches? Who turns around? herO, he's going for the CC! Zealot does buy time, distracting the army. Stalkers, they do waddle into the main, into the natural. And the CC is going to be delayed. Massive pickoff. SCV goes down, they waddle into the main. Woodermine does burrow, but the Woodermine, we just bypass the Woodermine. Boys are being pulled. Can we force friendly fire? No shot. As Hellion Reaper races back home, Hellion's going to be targeted down. Oof. As Reapers, they will eventually clean this up, but back at home, herO, he is freely mining from his natural. Nothing to be worried about. One Stalker finally goes down, but that's 3 SCV kills and a delayed natural. As the natural's back up and running, Stalker goes down. GuMiho defends. Behind this, we have our tech of choice. Not a Twilight Council, not a Stargate. It is a Robo Opener. Very safe play here by GuMiho. As more Stalkers, no, he delays once again. 2 more Stalkers arrive. Oh my god, it took so long to deal with 2 of them. Now we have another 2. As GuMiho, we can still not expand. Medevac has arrived, can help support, thankfully. Here he gets forced back, and finally GuMiho can finish his natural. Ay, ay, ay. Can finally finish up. Medivac's being forced back. Likewise, Mindshot does not quite connect. Reaper goes down, and herO is doing everything he can to contain the Terran. Back at home, opening up Observer. Once he realizes there's no 2-base soul in, he does not need an Immortal. He can go straight for the Twilight Council. Now, the downside of this opener from herO is that the Twilight Council is delayed and Blink is delayed just because herO wants to be safe. So there is at least that going GuMiho's way. Is that herO's army is less mobile for a longer time. Meanwhile, GuMiho, he is building up, going for a mine drop, working towards Stim, working towards his tank production, but again, delayed saturation at the natural. herO is in a better position. Is in a better position here. Oh, catching out the drop. Medevac goes down. That's another Woodermine will fall. Yeah, nice clean up here by herO. Drop towards the natural. herO, he's on patrol, he's in position. But the tank does siege over the ravine once again. Going for the mineral line. Shot's gonna be going up, getting one probe. herO, he has to pull away. And GuMiho actually dropping into the base. He's crazy. Oh. Actually going past the base, into the main. Dropping into the main base. Stalkers are trying to keep up. Again, remember, there is no blink. GuMiho playing with fire. Distracting herO. Slipping in behind the army. At least keeping herO busy. Now we can calm down. herO doesn't care. herO, he has no care in the world. He's finishing up charge, by the way. He went charge, not blink initially, and he's sending everything across the map. The War Prism has arrived. herO, he is vulnerable back at home. Remember, this is supply that GuMiho does not have at home to defend. The tank and the Marines, and as a result, there's only one tank back at home, which means GuMiho, he's vulnerable. Here comes a hallucination. The Colossus coming in, Chargers are coming for a flank, and they dive on top of the tank, and the tank is going to go down. There's no saving it. The boys are being pulled, the repairs are not in time. And GG gets called. herO snowballs out of control, taking game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. A very chaotic game one, not gonna lie. Very chaotic. We had GuMiho starting off with, of course, the initial proxy, but last herO, again, he was so confident in his play, despite there being a proxy, despite GuMiho attempting to be the aggressor. herO, time and time again, he just walked across the map. He had no fear. He was able to bypass the initial Reaper Hellion, delay the natural, delay even further than that in the follow-up as well, shut down the drop play, and even under the threat of a drop towards the natural, herO, he didn't even care. He just sent everything across the map. He recognized how vulnerable GuMiho was, and with that, GG. GG, well played. herO takes the lead, and the pressure is now on GuMiho to bounce back, as game 2 is going to be on Whispers of Gold. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran, down in the series. We'll see if he can recover and force the ace match. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is herO. We go. As we've already seen a plethora of Protoss players fall in the first round. In the round of 16, who did we lose? We lost Classic, we lost Trigger, and now we have herO versus GuMiho. Can herO be the Protoss hope to advance on into the later rounds, or is GuMiho gonna stop it? I mean, again, GuMiho, he's a world-class player. He's the reigning Homestar Cup champion. It is a shame that both GuMiho and herO are facing in the first round. Like, this is a quarterfinals, if not semifinals, if not even grand finals match. It's a shame that we only have them here in a best of 3 and that they're facing off so early on. But, you know, I mean, we're not a crank. We're not... That's aye. As we are here, and this is, of course, GuMiho's map of choice. Gonna be loading into Whispers of Gold. Oh my god. As the SCV takes a lot of hits, takes a lot of damage. Behind this, GuMiho going for a single gas, so it's going to be a Rax Expand, economic opener this time out of GuMiho. There is no proxy. Likewise, herO going for a Gate, Cyber Expand back at home. Standard openers all around, economic opener out of GuMiho. It's important to point this out because GuMiho did proxy last game, so he's calming things down. Now, as we said into Whispers of Gold, we've spoken about this before, and we brought this up in the previous series, but Whispers of Gold is one of the most aggressive maps in the map pool. Short resistance by ground, exposed third, exposed fourth base, and even exposed natural as well, more so than other maps, so you can be more aggressive. If you recall, the last time we casted on this map, Ryung, he went for a 1.5 base all in, and Classic question marked the hell out of him because it was mass cyclone, it was battle mech on 2 bases, and Classic he go with his pants down. But you know, again, these are the kind of things that can be favored on a small map like Whispers of Gold. So we'll see what GuMiho goes for. Likewise, we'll see if herO plays safe. We saw last game herO opening up Robo, which is also a safe build, a safe style, so we could see that again here, a Robo based opener as well. As we're about to see our tech. Probe is in position. Adept moves out. And there it is. It is going to be the Stargate opener. Okay, bold move. Bold move here by herO. If you recall, Classic also played Stargate previously against Ryung. I mean, he got punished for it. We'll see if herO can get away with it himself. Now, what I will say is that based on how this series has been progressing, and after the failed aggression of GuMiho in Game 1, especially with this economic opener, there's a high chance that maybe GuMiho calms things down and plays more safe, plays more economic, plays more macro-oriented, and herO could try to take advantage of that. We'll see. We shall see. As Stargate is finishing up, GuMiho getting into his own 2-1-1 setup, soon to be a 3-1-1. Adepts are being chased down. Nice trades. Adepts a fall for 1 Reaper. Alas, GuMiho, he has limited scouting information. I mean, he has 0 scouting information. He has seen nothing across the map until now, until the Hellion. The pants. Oh, the pants, Pappy. Are they going to be down? Is he wearing a belt? Is he wearing suspenders? Ah, no. As it is going to be Oracle into Phoenix. as the Oracle's moving out across the map. Meanwhile, GuMiho going to be opening up with a drop, with what looks to be a Widowmine Marine drop from the side of the Terran. Assuming that the Marines, they move out alongside the Widowmine, this has a lot of potential for damage. Wait, what? Okay, I was like, where did the Widowmine go? There it is. Widowmine moves out, Marines as well. Now, this drop is designed to get economic damage specifically, but we'll get into that as the Oracle does hit the natural, and the army moves out of position just in time. Just in time for the Oracle to wreak havoc. That's going to be 3 SCV kills, both Marines falling as well. There is 1 Widowmine. But alas, not quite in position, and we're getting even more damage. Oh my god. 4 SCVs, lost mining time, 2 Marines, and here comes a drop from GuMiho. Can he get some counter damage? Oh, as the army's in position. The army's in position. GuMiho is deflected. Heading towards the natural, likewise gets shut down. And again, GuMiho didn't know what he was moving into. Where's the revelation? Ooh, there it is. Can go for the lift, drop into the main. Marines, they can try to target down probes. They can attempt to. Oracle gets owned away. Oh, and there's no escaping this. Yeah, there's no escaping this. Here, he hasn't lost anything. The medevac's gonna go down. He will get the Oracle at least. Thankfully, the Oracle does fall. GuMiho gets something for his troubles, but this was a rough trade for the Terran. Ay, ay, ay. Looking at the trades here, looking at the use lost. 1 Oracle and 2 Adepts for, I mean, the Marines, the SCVs, the Widowmines, the medevac. The efficiency has been insane. Now, GuMiho should be secure back at home. Has no stim, but has plenty of Marines. Oh, but here come the reinforcements. Oh my god, here he explodes, but in the water. He wants to go for the kill. Stim is seconds away from finishing. Boys are being pulled. Mass repair here on the medevac. Adepts are being targeted down, and GuMiho is holding. He does hold, but he will still lose the medevacs. Oh god, there's no escaping. Marines are being targeted down. Medevac falls. He picks up the Marines one at a time. And here he does it. No shot. I thought that we could just barely defend. Stim is done, but too little too late. As we're down to 2 Marines. Down to 1, down to 0. 0 Marines left. Boys are being pulled into Adepts. You hate to see it. More Seagull Adepts just rallying across the map. And here he's done it. He has done it. He has broken the back of GuMiho, lifting up the tank. GuMiho, he has nothing left. The boys are being pulled. That's all there is left. The boys. They're doing what they can. Oh, the repair actually. Oh my god, the repair. The mass repair on the tank. GuMiho, he's holding. He's holding. He's trying to at least. He's doing his best. Oh my god. The repairs actually worked. He saves the tank. He barely holds on. Gets a 3rd TC. But at a cost of 13 SCVs. Back at home, herO getting his own 3rd base up and running. Throwing down his own production. I'm sure herO expected to end the game then and there. I thought he would. Very impressive here that GuMiho survived. But, I mean, it's still a rough road to recovery here. GuMiho is not back yet. Oh my god. Whew, okay, we can take a breath. Can calm down for a moment here as we have still Mass Phoenix to threaten and contain GuMiho. Nice, the Cyclones are in position. GuMiho does defend, does deflect. So far so good. Still stuck on 2 bases, Adepts they threaten to shade, they don't quite commit. And again, it's all about containing. It's all about herO just containing GuMiho and getting this 3rd base up and running. And with the 3rd base, what's that entail? That entails extra gases, that entails a bay as well into Colossus production, 2nd Robo, 2nd Forge, 4th base. How greedy is herO going to be? How greedy does he need to be? He's going for the 4th. Let's go. He's going for the 4th base. May as well. At this point, I mean, there's a 3rd CC. I was going to say that maybe GuMiho should go for a 2-base all-in, but he has a 3rd CC anyway, so may as well attempt to expand and get into a longer game state. With triple mule production, I mean, he has a better chance here to recover. That is true, but it's still not going to be easy. As Adepts are being forced back. Threatening a shade. CC under threat. And GuMiho, he does expand. Does get his 3rd. Oh, And he commits to shade the friendly fire. Oh, the friendly fire here in the mineral line. Marines going down. SCVs as well. So efficient trades here from herO. Catching almost every single Marine. We do see herO getting his 4th base. I assumed it was going to be double robot, but no, it's going to be a Temple Archives into Storm, into High Templar, Archon production. He's already got 2 Colossus. But GuMiho is maintaining himself at least. He's maintaining his army. The splash damage for herO is lacking, and it is risky to wait for Storm here instead of going for a second Robo. But alas, he's going for it. And we'll see if if GuMiho can break out. Now working towards 2-2. Here he is deflected. GuMiho is stabilizing, getting up to 70 SCVs. Let's go. It is looking stable. Here come the Archon. Storm has not been researched. Just straight up Archon instead. Charge Archon, Colossus, High Templar. Phoenix, I meant to say. Now, what I should emphasize here is that herO doesn't have to push into this. He does not have to push into this 3rd base. He could just chill and take more gases, get a 5th base, and max out. herO does have map control, but he's poking in. He wants to take the fight. That's a lot of fire. And again, it's just 2 Colossus. Will threaten a dive. Zelsay do get into the mineral line. Tanks out of position. And SCVs are going down. Good damage here from herO. Shuts down the workers. Likewise, GuMiho pushing in, at least trying to, but he's zoned away. He's just zoned away from his own base, from his own mineral line. More Zealots have arrived. GuMiho can engage. Oh, going for the EMPs. Doesn't quite get them. The EMP on the Phoenix. Decent EMPs. Army does hold strong. That's 13 dead workers. And that's all that herO wanted. From here, he can back up. Took down the 3rd. And he doesn't have to fight the main army. Doesn't have to. Oh, he's going for it. He's going to be committing. Let's go. Nice EMP on the Zealots. Zealots are going to melt. The Zealots go down. Stalkers push in. herO, we don't have to push into this. And GuMiho is going to shut this down. He's going to defend. Takes down the Stalkers, going for the Colossus, going for the dive. Doesn't quite get them. But again, here he's playing with fire. We don't have to be here. Here, calm down. Calm down, Bobby. Calm down. Here, you already got the mineral line. You're good. You're good to go. As here he does reinforce. 5th base on the way, getting more immortals. Vikings go for the Colossus. Stalkers, they dive in, they get punished. The Colossus are wasting DPS here on the CC. Uh-oh. And here he's going to lose his army. The Stalkers are going down. The Immortals as well. The Colossus, they just wait. We need DPS. We need help. We need support. And GuMiho holds. He does hold. Forces back herO. And herO, we have to calm down, okay? Again, it was brutal seeing just wasted DPS here on the CC from the Colossus. Supplies are quite close. herO is ahead economically, but is fully behind supply-wise. Army supplies, I mean. Needs to warp in, needs to reinforce. I mean, you can tell every fiber in herO's being just wants to kill GuMiho. he just wants him out of the game. But it's like, mate, we just take a breath. Take more bases, take more gases, get a second robo, you know, get Storm or Disruptors. Disruptor production has begun. We don't have to ape in. It's okay. Oh, no. Nice knife. Gets a medevac. Does get a medevac. Trying to bait it at the Widowmine. Nice retargeting out of GuMiho. Very, very nice micro. Zell right back towards the natural. GuMiho does respond. Zell do slip in. GuMiho pulling GuMiho apart. Going for the tank. He gets it. Tank goes down. Tank does fall, Zelze busts into mirror, and GG gets called, and herO, he does break GuMiho, and herO takes the series 2-0. Whew, GG. GG, well played. A risky play style, and herO, he was hyper aggressive. He didn't have to be that aggressive, but hey, it worked. It worked in the end. It did break GuMiho. GG, well played. GG, herO, he does claim the series, does take down GuMiho, and does advance on into the next round. Whew, as the aggression did pay off, and now we can take a moment here to catch up on the bracket and to catch up on all our series and on all of our matches. Let's go. Let us go. Un momento, as I quickly do update the score lines. Quickly to update, and then we can catch up on the bracket itself. And beautiful, there we go. Okay, so we can switch our scenes over, and the round 16 has since concluded. From the top, we have some updates. We have herO, of course. herO takes down GuMiho 2-0, advancing on to the quarterfinals to face off against Nickrat, as Nickrat is lying in wait. Took down Nico 2-0 as well. They're going to be facing off in another TVP. Scrolling down, we have Creator. Creator takes down Percival 2-0, and Creator, he is up against Pongdunyi. He's up against Pongdunyi in the quarterfinals as well. They're facing off in another TVP. Scrolling down, Zhao takes down Geralt 2-1. Went all the way to the ace match. Shout out to Geralt, of course. But Zhao does take the PvP and is going to be advancing on to face off against Rex in the quarterfinals. Shout out to Rex as, again, the lone Zerg player. Let's go, Pappy, let's go. I'm going to be enjoying to cover at least some Zerg action here tonight, as Rex does take down Prome 2-0. Scrolling down, Ryung took down Classic, Kira took down Trigger. We casted those matches here on stream, and we have the TVT at the bottom half of the quarterfinals. Let us go. So we have our round of 8, we have our quarterfinals. Coming into this, herO is going to be one of the heavy hitters, of course, but there are players here that can threaten him. We have Creator, we have Zhao, we have Ryung, we have Kira, we have Nickrat, we have Rex, and we have a newcomer in Pongdunyi. I keep forgetting how it's pronounced. Shout out to Google Translate, by the way. Shout out to Google Translate. But yes, we do have our round of 8, and we are going to be going on a short break. We're going to be going on a short break here, and when we come back, we are going to be jumping into the quarterfinals. I see someone asking in the chat, is Geralt in Korea? He is not. This tournament is open to all regions. It's open to all regions, all shapes, all sizes. We do often get some European representation in this tournament, but just to reiterate once again, there's a reason why we are missing certain players. There's a reason why we are missing Skillus, Maxpack, Shin, and Solar, because the 4 players I just mentioned, we were casting live at the time of this tournament in the OlimoLeague Cup. Again, as this tournament was taking place earlier today, we were casting a tournament at the same time, featuring Solar, featuring Shin, featuring Maxpax, featuring Skillus. That is why none of those players listed are in this tournament, as they were happening at the same time. That is one of the reasons why there is less Zerg representation here, is because the other Korean Zergs were playing in a different tournament. I do recommend the VODs, by the way. It was a fun event. I do recommend the VODs of OlimoLeague Cup. Otherwise, we can focus here on OlimoLeague on the quarterfinals. Let's go. Let us go. GuMiho resisted. He did. He survived. He survived. Did hold his own for quite some time there. But again, we're going to be going on a short break. And when we come back, we're going to be starting from the top. We'll be going into herO versus Nickrat, Zhao versus Rex, and Ryung versus Cure. We'll be embracing those quarterfinals. Where was Dark, though? Dark, he has been less active. He has been less active over the past couple of weeks, over the past month. The reason why he's been less active is, I would imagine, because he is soon conducting his military service. Dark, he has already spoken out about that. Dark, he left his team. He left Talon Esports because his military service is on the horizon. We do not know the exact day that it starts. We just know that it will. So again, we have just been seeing less Dark over time, as the military service is looming on the horizon. But for now, though, we're going to be going on a 5-minute break. Take this time to drain your disruptors, massage your marines, hydrate all of your hydras, stretch your roaches, cuddle your carriers, tuck in your Tempest and marinate your Marauders, and come up with some other nice alliterations in the chat as we bounce back with the quarterfinals. See you soon. See you soon. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the quarterfinals of OlimoLeague week number 236. I do apologize for the stream going down once again, at least for a moment there. We did lose over half our viewership, so it feels bad, man. we had 200 viewers down to 53, so thank you for those that did stick around. I do apologize for that stream falling. Again, it does seem like there's some issues with the Twitch servers. To open up the stream, I had to switch to the Singaporean server instead of the Sydney Australian server, and even then it looks like it's not the most stable as well. Might also be because of the weather. It's quite hot, it's quite intense here. I mean, we're deep in the summer here in Australia, so so it's a little bit rough. It's definitely a little bit hot here in the land of Australia, so I don't know, maybe that could be affecting things as well. Regardless, the show must and the show will go on, and we have our first series of the quarterfinals. We just wrapped up with round 16, and now we have more TVPs. It's been purely Terran versus Protoss throughout the entire broadcast, but we will eventually be shaking it up. You know, later on down the line, we have Zdown versus Rex, of course, in a PvZ, and a TVT between Ryung and Kior. So we'll get to some of the other matchups. We'll get there. For now, we're jumping into game number 1. Let's go. Let us go. As game 1, it looks like the first map of the quarterfinals is going to be on El Dorado. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of El Dorado, we have the red Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nickeract. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player from South Korea representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is herO. Here we go. As our PVTs do continue, it's been all that we've been casting here tonight so far, and the trend continues coming into the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, shout out to Nickeract. We have seen Nickeract defeat herO in the past. It has happened before, but it is more of a rarity here. herO is the heavy favorite. It is going to be on Nickeract to cause a massive upset. Now, if you've been watching Nickeract, if you've been watching the CranKy Ducklings over the past couple of years, or year even, then you would know that Nickeract, he is a very aggressive player in this matchup. Very aggressive. I mean, years, yeah, I would say, because I remember even casting Nickeract many seasons ago, also going for these crazy all-ins and crazy aggressive styles in the TVP matchup. It's what he's known for, it's what he does thrive on as well, and we'll see if he can also catch herO off guard once again. Now, I'm sure herO, after their last encounter, is more familiar with Nickeract, is aware of the potential of aggression, and we should be seeing some safer play out of herO instead. We'll see though, we'll see. For now, we're settling in. It is going to be a double gas opener out of Nickeract, double gas into a faster factory, into a delayed CC. herO going for a standard opener back at home. Now, the kind of builds that we expect to see out of Nickeract are 2 base all-ins. There are different variations of 2 base all-ins, going for early tank production into a tank drop, going for early Banshee production with Banshee tank, going into a delayed starport into 3-1-1 setup, into pull the boys. There's a lot of potential here for Nickeract when it comes to being in the face of herO. We'll see how exactly he will approach this, as we're expecting all-ins. Is what we expect. Catching up in the chat. Cuddle the Colossus, catapult the Chronoboost. I like catapults. I like catapult your Colossus. like what does that mean? What is that? Are you launching them? Are you throwing them over the wall? Like, what's happening? I don't know. It's good. I like it. What else can we do to some of these units? We need to find out. Aye. For now though, the initial Reaper is going to be forced back. I think the problem with Terran is that there are so many units. Like, there's only like so much that we can do to them, right? Like, we aye. We're massaging the Marines, we're marinating the Marauders. Like, we still have medics, we still have, sorry, I should say medevacs. Well, what can we do? We still have, yeah, Widow Mines. What can we do to the mines? for now though. Nikrat committed into Reacted Reaper Hellions, so much more aggressive early on, moving out with 3 Reapers and 3 Hellions, as the 3rd Hellion is going to be reinforcing from across the map, making his way in, looking to try to bust into the mineral line and get some economic damage. Here we go. Meanwhile, there is a force field available, but is that going to be enough? As he dives in. Does dive in. Here is starts stepping back. The force field is thrown down, but the sentry does fall. Sentry gets picked up. Here he does catch one of the Hellions. Gets a Hellion, gets a Reaper, and he will catch the final Hellion as well. There is no getting out, and Nikrat does not get into the mineral line. He does not kill a pro. So nice defense here by herO. Very nice defense. Does hold, does defend, does force Nikrat back. And back at home, Nikrat, he's getting to his own 1-1-1 setup. Vikings on the way. Did miss it, but of course it is a Stargate opener from herO going to Phoenixes. And looking to gain map control, he does spot the Hellion, as that does buy a little bit of time. Forcing herO back. Does force him back. Unload your Ultralisk. Yeah, see? Now you get it. What are you doing? You're unloading them. What does that mean? Use your imagination. No. Zig your zealots. Zag them too. That's a hard one. There's limited words for Z. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. For now, we do have our initial Phoenix opener. With that, herO, of course, has gained map control. He shut down the initial Reaper Hellion, and back at home, getting a 3rd base, getting to a Bay as well, working towards Colossus. This is a more traditional form of Phoenix Colossus from the side of herO. Something you don't really see too often. You don't see this style too often whatsoever. We'll see if he can get away with it. And meanwhile, back at home, Nikrat, he is building out, throwing down 2 more Maxes, tank production, Liberator as well. He is setting up, and we'll see how committed he is. Is Nikrat going to expand and take a 3rd base? If so, I mean, I'd be surprised. This is what we want. As this is what we expect, he pulls the boys. The boys are being pulled. Nikrat, he is committed. And we'll see if he can catch herO with his pants down. As herO, he does spot the army with the Zelnaga. Does spot the army, does see the boys. Is getting in position. Sentries are ready. Shield batteries are on the way. It does pull everything back. But is it enough? Liberator sieging up. herO getting a shot off. Just the one. Stalker under fire. Tank does siege as well. And Nikrat, he's just wedging himself here between the bases. Zoning herO away. Here he has to dive. Picks up the tank. Takes out the Liberator. But the tank is going to be let go. And Nikrat, he's pushing through. He's breaking through. Takes out the sentry. There's 1 sentry left. Shield battery out of energy. Going for another sentry as well. Here, he's up against the wall. Here, trying to buy time, warping in extra units. Colossus is on the way. And Nikrat, he's going for the 3rd, but he needs more than just that. Still rallying across the map. Going for the 3rd base. herO forced to recall. Yeah, the 3rd is forfeit. And there's no saving it. It's going to go down. And can Nikrat keep going? Can he keep pushing? Now, what's important here is that because he killed the 3rd base, the Colossus is almost done. The 1st Colossus already arrived. 2nd Colossus is almost done as well. And from here, he can hold. He shuts down the tanks, shuts down the fire. Shield batteries coming into play. And here, he will clean this up. Taking down the tanks, the Marines, and everything. And again, this just took a little bit too long to push into the natural. Everything gets cleaned up. And what game state are we in here? Now, here, he did save some probes. Some workers were saved. 3rd TC's on the way for Nikrat. He only pulled a couple of boys, not all of them, so his economy is still looking quite healthy. Quite a healthy economy. Now getting the stim into combat shields into +1. Nikrat, he's not in the worst position, but the army here is quite lacking. He's working with Marines, with a couple of Marauders. The tank count was reset. We'll see if herO can recover. Mining through those minerals. Expanding towards the triangular 3rd location instead. Interesting. It's going to be more delayed expansion. herO, he's moving out. He has to be active. He has to be aggressive. herO, he is up in army supply. Nickrat has the economy, but herO has the army. Here we go. So let's move out. Pet your probes? Yes, we did. I think we already had pet your probes. I think we already had that. Pet or pat? I think pet. Pet your probes. herO does dive in. Going for the dive, pushing up the ramp. Tank is going to be going down. And again, there's no more tanks behind this. Nickrat, he's exposed. The move out did damage, but the move out did not enough. GG gets called, and herO will snowball out of control, taking game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, Nickrat, he was committed with that first move out, borderline all in. He killed the third, but he did not do enough damage. He needed more than that, as he was vulnerable to that counterattack, and herO snowballed out of control. GG. GG, well played. If herO had been more passive, more defensive, and if he had allowed Nickrat to make use of that greater economy and get a third base, then, of course, maybe a different game state, maybe a different outcome. But herO, he was aware of his lead, of his advantage, did press it, did win. GG. GG, well played. With that, Nickrat is, well, it is going to be Nickrat's map of choice. And we'll see if he can bring it back and force the ace match as we're loading into, shouldn't be a surprise, Whispers of Gold. We spoke about this, but this is the most aggressive map you can load into. And here, Nickrat can thrive with his builds, with his all-ins. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the red Terran player for the Platinum Heroes down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Nickrat. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Blue Protoss. The Blue Protoss from South Korea, representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. Settling in. No, is the town? Oh. As from here, we are going to be going for the eBay block. eBay block here at the natural. Looks like the stream may have gone down for a moment once again. Yeah. Smooch. It's gonna be fun editing this VOD, definitely. Well, for now, we do have our eBay block, so Nickrat going to be trying to force the unnatural natural. Here he is forced to expand elsewhere, and now here he is exposed to aggression. He's exposed to a potential all-in here from Nickrat. We'll see what Nickrat goes for. We'll see how he's able to punish this as he's going for the... Oh, he attempts previous map pool, in the previous patch with the older Cyclone. Now with the current Cyclone. Basically, earlier when you could reactor Cyclone. You can go into reactor Cyclone production, of course, into Hellions and just completely shut this down. Alas, that is not the case, not anymore. Basically, earlier when you could react... but that's no longer the case, not anymore. So we'll see how Nickrat does approach this position. We shall see. As the Reaper does poke in. Here he does attempt to delay the CC. Moves out to delay the CC. Moves out with a Stalker. We'll get one SCV going for... As Stalkers, they poke in. Again, still forcing or still denying the expansion. Hoping to force a cancel. The boys are being pulled. Can Nickrat hold on? X-Stalkers have arrived. Going for the Hellion. Hellion is going to be focused down. A nice kiting here from herO. Does kite back, and GG gets called. Just too much damage. Alas, Nickrat could not expand, and with that, herO snowballs out of control. Takes the series at 2-0. GG. GG, well played. herO, he does take the series. I did notice that the stream was stuttering there for quite some time, so I do apologize for that. I am going to bring the stream down. I'm going to turn off the stream. I'm going to change Twitch servers.